Many BPM managers tell me, we spend so much time on process mapping with so little to show for it, since the diagrams only make sense to the person who drew them. I say, good BPMN could turn that effort into a shareable, lasting asset. BPMN is the standard for diagramming business process logic. It looks like a flowchart, so it's familiar to business, but it adds symbols and line styles to capture the precision required by IT. BPMN's meaning does not depend on the tool or the modeler's own imagination. It's based on a specification. You can interchange models between tools with no loss of fidelity, so business and IT aren't forced to use the same tool. Good BPMN should tell you what starts and ends the process, what each instance represents, and the external interactions. BPMN can tell you those things, but most models, like this one, do not, and that's wrong. Here's the thing. Good BPMN requires conventions that go beyond the rules of the standard. For instance, this diagram violates no rules of the BPMN spec, but it conveys zero meaning, not good BPMN. Compare it to this one, containing shapes, labels, and symbols that the spec calls optional. Good BPMN, following the method and style conventions, requires the modeler to include them, as you see here. Method and style captures not just the process steps, but how it starts and ends, and its external interactions. Here it starts with a customer order, and we see the messages returned from its two possible end states. You see this from the diagram on its own. It requires no prior knowledge of the process or its terminology, nor reference to information in a tool or attached documentation. Okay, you're saying, but now there are new, unfamiliar symbols my team needs to learn. Why make that effort? Here's why. Putting details in the diagram lets your team discuss them collaboratively. Putting them in a text document does not. If the flowchart is just a summary of details in a text document, you've lost the value. Those documents are shelfware. You can't review and discuss them as a team, and most stakeholders don't read them at all. You've spent countless man-hours gathering the information in meetings and workshops. Now you need to capture it in a form that can be effectively shared with all stakeholders and preserved. Good BPMN is critical to business IT collaboration, but it requires a disciplined approach. Method and style provides that with rules and a methodology. Many things allowed by the spec are not allowed by method and style. So how do you learn good BPMN? Information on the shapes and symbols is widely available, but just as a dictionary can't teach you to speak French, you need more than just BPMN vocabulary to communicate process logic clearly. You need to learn method and style. You can learn it from a book, the vocabulary, the methodology, the style rules, and more, but you can't gain fluency from a book by itself. That requires practice. Here's one form of practice. A gamification-based e-learning app, BPMN Pro, teaches it via quizzes and puzzles that provide practice and feedback. It's more effective than a book, but it only goes so far. You really want training and hands-on exercises with a real BPMN tool. Ideally, students create and iteratively improve models until they're perfect. BPM Essentials training and certification provides that. The right tool makes a difference. The ability to validate a diagram against the spec is critical. If your BPMN tool cannot do this, change it. The best tools can validate against the style rules as well. The tools we use in our training, ITP Commerce and Signavio, both do this. Validation not only improves model quality, but teaches you the rules. After you make the same mistake 2 or 3 times, you stop making that mistake. In summary, while BPMN is the basic language of BPM, most people use it poorly. Good BPMN focuses on the diagram's real purpose, communicating the process logic clearly and completely. Learning it does not require a technical background, but it does require discipline and hands-on practice, such as the method and style training. The effort is small compared to your overall BPM investment and preserves it as a lasting asset.